Okay. So the reason why I continuously make videos is because, as I understand, there'll be definitely a day when I will not be able to. And so let me speak while I can and be sure to say what needs to be said. Uh, you know, I understand that because of the psyop they wanted to create it, I'm gonna go through some torture that are even just theatrical. They are theater based torture. They're gonna try to maximize in hope that it's gonna counter the reality of what these people do and what they've been doing to people and how disturbing and retarded they have to make themselves be. And who's those people? Are those are the perps, right? They work for this government program that does these things where, as human subjects, target individual, they implement this technology that can just manipulate so much. Basically, they can distort reality and call it their reality. It's a reality where it's fabricated, it's disturbing, and very pedophilia centric, but they're projected onto you, the target individual, instead of what they're involved in. It's like reality is something else. They change reality in so many ways. And for me, I don't have problem speaking up what they do, because these people have to look at themselves in the mirror. I want them to, for the day we see each other, she understand what I'm seeing you as. And the way they like to counter reality as being perps contracted by governmental entities to implement these things they do to us, because they want us to accept target individuals, this psyop. They want us to accept these manipulations, and they most importantly want you to accept this new persona they've created. And they create storylines, and this technology can implement thoughts onto you. It's like once your brain is connected to this supercomputer like device, is as if they can implement whatever thoughts they want you to have, memories, reaction. They control your body and your mind. And this is why they are dedicating so much money, finance, and resources onto this program. That's why one person have so much going on. It's like the whole world. It appears like the whole world. It's obviously not the whole world, but it appears like the whole world is there to just drive you to insanity. It's not the whole world. That's just the perception that you can get if you just get lost in their psyop. But there's a lot of people. So much that it doesn't even make sense still, unless you understand that this is just a program where they are developing a technology, and you have these perps that are solely contracted day in and day out to just make you lose your mind and make you accept these manipulations. And they do a lot of disorientation, they do a lot of distortions, and they do a lot of deceptions. And they are gimmicky as hell too. But at the same time, what they do is foul. But the gimmickiness sometimes can be comical. For example, they use V2K. V2K is when they project their voices onto your brain. It's a remote way to interact with somebody's brain directly. It's super sophisticated, but apparently that's even the old stuff. The more sophisticated things is their ability to manipulate your thoughts. And when I talk to these people, well, this is what they make me say. They can also force speech. They can make you say something you don't mean to say. That's a lot of control there. But when they interact with me, when they just project their voices onto me, the way they try to speak, it's gonna be hell. Like, why they speak that way is to try to create anxiety. It's like they play they're so gimmicky in a thing that is just horrible, but they want to sound certain ways so you can accept the psyop. They like to, and because the manipulations are so falsified that sometimes you can start laughing about the falsification of it, and like, oh, they're gonna laugh so bad. Oh, good, thank you for laughing. It's like, I'm laughing because I know how you're disturbing things around. I'm laughing out of just how disturbing you guys are. But they're like, oh, you laugh so, because they want you to accept these manipulations. And so when you laugh about these manipulations, it's like you're not subscribing to it, and they want you to identify with these things. For me, it's been disturbingly nasty, so disgusting. I've been making sure that I continuously make videos about everything before I go into the hell they tell me they're gonna put me in, because listen to how disturbing this trash are at the same time, adding to my validations. They're gonna say that they're gonna frame me. Well, they're saying they're framing me in there's three type of framing they tell me I'm gonna experience. I don't know which one it is, but I'm leaning toward the first one, which is they're gonna say that I've been doing something with some child individual here. I don't know, some teenage kid or some whatever's trash. They've been saying something like that, right? They're gonna frame you in this way. Second, they're gonna implant child porn on my computer devices or any devices of mine somehow. That's what they say. Those two. And lastly, there's like either they implant drugs or a gun or something like in my apartment, right? I do believe they will frame. Like I said, especially like the pedophilia, anything that's pedophilia centric, I'm sure I can imagine them doing that because these people live off this like reality of pedophilia. It's so disturbing. And then they're like, once you be framed, people gonna know they're gonna do this. And it's like, listen, I'd rather die in whatever horrible ways than live like you, because these people are disgusting. They are foul human beings. There's nothing brave. There's nothing daring. They're just trash, coward, low-life pedophiles. And the agencies running this program, contracting these bottom feeders, actually have a lot of pedophiles, while these people have to manipulate so much. Now, this is my little introduction. And so, why I'm making this video is how they keep creating storylines. If you go into my first video, I think in 2022, I talked about the degradation. I talked about, that's when I really specifically started talking about how they do the pedophilia type of torture, right? And before that, I was alluding to it, but I was speaking about it without saying it, that's the things they were doing to me. But after that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to be specific. They do these specific disturbing things. And then I was talking about how they also, of course, manipulate memories in these disturbing ways. One specific moment that was the most disgusting, and even me speaking about it right now, they are trying to disturb me. Well, they are disturbing me by stimulating me before I speak about this, because there's going to be a child, and they want me to be aroused by it, which is the foul things they do. You got to understand, these people live off a world of pedophilia. That's the why I'm always wishing for them to continue to live this life. I'm like, please continue this life. Don't stop. You are such a winner. You are a war. You're not in a program where you are experimenting or implementing this technology on human subjects that are basically guinea pigs. You are truly a war. But what things they've done to me in the one of memories is when I was maybe 19 years old or so. I remember going to my best friend's house, and he had like his cousin's daughter. This baby was maybe like a few years old, like 5-6 years old. And I remember, as I'm going to, in my brain, they try to create these things where they want me to subscribe to it. And, you know, I'm from a African background, and my friend had an African background, right? And so one thing that's normal is like kids, when they put the lotion or whatever, they can be in the living room putting the lotion, and the kids are naked and they do this, they put the lotions on them. It's nothing new. You see those kids, and that's that. And they've changed, because that happened when we're in the living room. The cousin brings her daughter, she's putting the lotion, and you know, it's just, you see this kid being put the lotion. But now the way they've made me experience this memory is like you're like looking at the private area, they start zooming in and creating this, when in reality it's just like you see a kid do it. There's nothing new. And in my brain, they just like change it to like have that perception where you're like kind of looking at her. It's so disturbing. That's the kind of things they change. And changed my memory in that, when in reality it's just like another kid. And in my brain they were like, no, but you see her, like, try to change that in this pedophilia way, where they try to make it seem like I looked at this kid in a sexual way. That's what they always do. They change reality and then try to make you be nervous about this falsified memory, right? They make noise campaign, they slam the door, they do this and that. It's like, oh, they heard you. It's like, I've been making videos about this specifically before, so however it goes, it's not going to get any better. They're going to make it worse and worse. And my brain at this point is so fried. So somebody opens the door right now, slam the door, and it's like, they raped you. And then slam the door. I was like, I'd rather get raped than do what you just did right there. And I don't want to get raped. because this person was trying to gaslight me, but by somehow creating some fear tactics to make me subscribe of this version of what happened, changing the perception. And in that video, I talk about it in details. Now with time, it's getting worse and worse and worse. So they've tried to change in different ways. And so what they've been saying, because my employer put me in this program, this employer is the reason why I'm here. When I'm about to lose my life, I will never be thinking these are people from the apartment, whatever, are the reason why this is happening to me. They participated, but the reality is my employer put me in this program. And I'm talking about my initial employer, not these people right now who try to create this psyop, the actual employer. And so I remember being in this program. I remember being with my employer, and I know why he put me in this program, right? First, I know race was a reason, but once you put in this program, it doesn't matter what race you are, right? And so they're trying to say, no, what they did actually, they knew, because they saw that moment, and like, oh, yeah, he's a pedophile, because you see how he's like, whatever. They want me to find them credible. Whatever BS stories they come up, I know is falsified. And trust me, my employee wasn't here. It's not they sold industrial supplies. So when they put me in that program, the goal was to just slander, manipulate, and distort reality. They know what this was happening. So now, because I don't even know if that specifically was something true, if anything, because I noticed that wherever I go, each perps around me have like these ways of doing things a little different. Since I moved here, they're a little bit more don't care about, like, they just don't care. However it looks, as fake as it looks. And so they try to come up with their own little narrative. Everybody comes up and jump in and create a different storyline. And this storyline's like, no, they saw that when you were going through your brain. They're like, oh, that moment is that. So you see, that's proof of like, okay. Trust me, they knew who, they truly know who I was. And children was not the problem here. And so they want you to accept this disgusting fabrication of reality they put together. And they want you to be subscriptive of these manipulations, of a moment where she's just a kid that they put lotion, you don't care, and changed it. I remember I made that video first, it's like, oh, now you're looking at her. It's like, I just saw a kid. And then and it became like an argument. Did you see her private area? I saw the kid as a whole. Like as a whole individual. I don't care. But now it's, of course, everything they can try to turn into pedophilia, they will. And so a naked kid where they put lotion, they're going to try to change it into something sexual. And it's so disturbing. And that's how I'm going to experience things. But then they try to add the story where they try to counter the reality of the people who put me in this program, and race was the reason. They were not here to protect children. If anything, when they're analyzing me, definitely saw things that had nothing to do with children. But once you put in this program, the tactics are they are basically the same. They do the slanderous things. They do the pedophilia type of torture. They do this, like, the slander you name, the defamations, all of that. This is all part of this. So were they planning to do some kind of pedophilia kind of persona at some point? Of course. That's the pedophilia things they do. That's the tactics of how they manipulate and destroy somebody's life and slander that person's life. So that's no doubt that they knew they're going to do some kind of pedophilia type of torture. The slanderer is going to be pedophilia-centric and whatnot. So I understand. But do I think that they actually believe that? Of course, I know this is not true. I think they obviously knew that really the real me was really more, the problem was women, right? If it was a problem. This shit is the things they try to create, this persona, the slander stuff they try to come up with. And so these people now are just trying to change narratives and reality and changing how everything was being perceived, just to try to disorient reality. They don't leave off reality. Now, the things they say now, you're gonna be tortured. Somebody in the hallway is yelling, it's gonna be now, right? You're gonna be raped. And he says that from afar. because he wants me to accept. He's trying to stop me from saying things for the real world, the reality of things. I'd rather die. I'd rather be raped. I'd rather be tortured. But one thing is for sure, this reason why I'm making videos is because as my brain is gone the way they want it, reality is something they will never escape from. They will never escape. So let them do this framing. Let them live their life. The best thing about what I'm experiencing is something to highlight here, something to call out, is they don't know what the fuck is going to happen to them. But they know everything that I'm going to experience. They don't know how they're going to die. They don't know when they're going to die. They don't know who's going to die around them that they care for. They know nothing about what is going to happen to them. Just know what's going to happen to me. Just going to be involved in the things that they're supposed to be involved to create this falsified reality. Just created a distortion of reality. And then they're going to die. How, when, don't know. So that's why I'm like, please continue to live this life. In the meantime, as you try to escape into that fantasy, I make these videos, targeting videos, because I understand they really want you to identify with all these manipulations. And your job, targeting videos, is to never subscribe to these things. Never identify with whatever storyline and narrative and perceptions and changes of how things happen and the perceptions of those moments to change it into different ways. No campaign everything around you that's supposed to box in this falsification of memories. This is why I make videos. Because right now I can go a year ago when I made this video. Now it's going, of course, getting worse. Tomorrow is going to be worse. My brain is getting more and more on the spectrum. But before it gets to that point when I cannot speak, no problem. I'd rather speak now. They can tell me how I'm going to get so much anal, which is anal, and it's disturbing. Basically, you're going to get raped. And there's going to be there's going to be more of this because they caught you. It's like, listen, you can't even say the name of a pedophile. The entities running this program are filled with pedos. You have to come up with your fantasies and tell me you're going to watch me being tortured. Please do. One thing is for sure. I don't want them to live a normal life. I want them to live this normal life. This coward, from afar, they speak what they use this tonality. You're going to live. There he is. And they think, oh, wow, you sound so convincing now. You're such a fierce woman. Trash. Target individuals, do not subscribe to this. Death comes to all of us. I'm okay dying like this. I remember who put me in this program. I know they tried to change me and try to make me accept these falsifications. They had trash outside the hallways, try to yell something to interrupt me, thinking that's going to make me subscribe. Of course, does it not look more obvious that it's fraudulent? They have childlike individuals involving themselves in this, telling me they're at war. It's like, yeah. They have their dogs barking. I was like, yeah, your dog is at war too? Trash. To all my target individuals, stay strong. And know that justice will be done for the nasty things they do. And for the fantasizing of manipulations and how they create these storylines, I will never subscribe to it. I understand. Your job is to try to make me subscribe, identify with this disturbing manipulations, and make me believe, oh my gosh, people. I was like, no, everybody's involved with my torture, regardless of how bad it's going to be. They know the reality, but just like you, they're at war. So to all my target individuals, stay strong.